Hey, just wanted to touch on this about the rates. The rates did, the housing market rates did jump like a little bit, but they did come down a little bit before, right? So, with that, this is what be making y'all mad because even though the rates only went down a little bit, the housing prices is going to go up. And that's because of the inventory. When the inventory is low and the rates drop or the rates stay the same, it doesn't matter. People take advantage of low inventory. And that's where all of this is coming from because they have low inventory. Except for builders are doing great incentives if you want to have new construction. And they are giving, most builders are giving like $10,000 towards closing, a certain amount in upgrades and things like that. But be aware if you're out looking for a home, don't listen to the rumor mills. Go and get your home. And because if you keep waiting and the rates drop low and the market is not going to be saturated with the homes like we think. So, like I said, the lower the inventory is the reason for them to be extremely high. If you think it's going to be saturated with a lot of homes and you're going to wait till then you'll still be waiting. And then because a lot of people think like, oh, we get a lot of houses on the market, then they'll go down in price, which is true, but that really didn't even happen when we went down to 2%. So it's like to get in, how they say, to get in where you fit in. Like you can't just keep being scared or waiting on rates or something like that, or going off of something you heard, because technically rates still go according to your credit score, according to your credit. So the better your credit, the better the rate. So like now, if they at 7, you have a good credit score, you could go 6, even down to 5. You could buy down a rate to make your rate lower. I say buy down a rate only if you're going to stay in your house like for a certain length of time, then that's cool. My greatest suggestion to anyone right now is to do a multi-family. FHA, you could go FHA with a cheaper down payment. You could do a DSCR. The down payment is not so cheap, but they working on that. The qualifications are really good for that program, including the FHA. The reason why I say multifamily is this. You could get a 4-unit and live in one of the units. What they have now with these new programs will allow you to take the other 3 units at fair market value, and they would include it 75% of rent. So say for instance, if one of the units will rent for in the market $1,000, you could use 75% of that to qualify as income. Back then, you couldn't. You had to be able to qualify to pay for the mortgage. But now they are taking the units and allowing the units to help you to qualify with the income to purchase the home, which is great because think about this. Instead of jumping off and getting a single family residence, especially not the kind that you truly desire in your heart, why not get a multi-unit, have your rent and your mortgage paid by your tenants, and be able to save money, build and establish greater credit, and you can have your home, the dream of your homes, built from the ground. And at the same time, you still have a multi-unit that you're collecting rent on. A win-win. It's a win-win. If you think you can't afford it, at the rate things going with all of these new programs that we have out here now for the housing, for real estate, I mean, like, please look into it. Contact an expert and go over, be honest, give them your scenario, and just see what you qualify for, because it's going to come to a point where we going to have that woulda, coulda, shoulda. Like, I have clients that have that song, they sing it all the time because they wanted, I mean, like, the race was at 2.99, they wanted the rates to drop lower, which that was like record breaking for like decades, because when I started out in the industry, rates was 16%. And then the lowest it got before the market crash was at 12%. People was buying houses. And so, like, now a lot of people are missing the opportunity to own real estate because of rumors or certain things. But don't let that be you. Don't think that you can't afford it, because now you have mortgage companies like myself that help people with their credit. So if you need a year to get your savings together, your credit together, then do that versus not doing anything at all, because it's going to come to a point you're going to rather be a landlord. You know, a lot of people, they complain about wanting to be a landlord. I don't want to be a landlord. You don't want to have income that can help you. And even if push come to shove, if something happened in the world, at least you will have a multi-unit where you can allow your family to stay in. Y'all could just gather up funds together to make sure the mortgage, taxes, and homeowners insurance is paid. It's at the point now we need to do what we gotta do, and a multi-unit, in my suggestion, is where it's at, especially with all of these new programs, the percentage that you could put down, and FHA is on board with multi-units. So I hope that helps somebody.